So it's very nice to be here this morning with my lovely young friend Emma. I am Tiffanie Darke. I have written Whatever Happened to Generation X, and I am a card-carrying 40-something Generation Xer. So Emma, you wrote a fantastic book, Control, Alt, Delete, and you run a very successful blog, Girl Lost in the City. And you've become something of a spokeswoman for the millennial generation. Now,
although it's hard to speak on behalf of the whole massive generation.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's just get that out of the way here. We're going to be massively subjective on this whole thing, but there we are. That's journalism for you. Everybody's very mean about millennials all the time, I feel. What do you see are the main accusations that your age group faces?
Yeah, so the media as a whole, if you Google millennials, you'll get millennials are lazy, millennials are entitled. We are famously really hard to manage in the workplace because we're just rebelling against the system. And I think people like to label us as being that way.
I think that maybe this is something that our generation inherited from the boomers, which was that whole keep buggering on. Mm-hmm. You know, we work really hard. We play hard, but we work really hard as well. I think we've got a really strong work ethic. And I think sometimes the things that are levelled at millennials, one of the things is you guys have got no staying power. If something doesn't suit you, you just move on. I wouldn't say you're shirkers, but you definitely work in a different way from us. Yeah,
I don't know, because I kind of think that stereotype is being perpetuated. But I don't know, because millennials are going to make up 75% of the workforce in 2020 or 2025. We are going to be literally ruling the workplace in the next 10 years. So I think the way we work needs to be understood in a way that is taking it seriously, because when it comes to hierarchy and working up a ladder and working at an organisation for years and years and years, now that's out of the window. And we work differently because we grew up just being able to Google something. And that is sad that we can't in a pub go, who was that actress who was in that film? Because we can just Google it.
We can't remember, so don't worry.
But that's because we do want things instantly, but that's kind of made us break the rules, start our own companies. You know, newspapers are closing down, things like Airbnb are on the rise. It's kind of, I think we find the industry quite exciting because we've got the internet, we know how to use it in ways that are a bit stealthy at times. But I don't know, I think the millennial myth of being really kind of all over the place and really lazy isn't true.
So tell me, as a Generation X manager in a big corporation with some millennials working for me who are driving me mad with their attitude, how should I adjust my management style?
I think from what I've researched, and also I ask a lot of questions, do a lot of polls, do a lot of surveys on millennial workers, I feel that it is about communication, and it is about just making sure that they feel heard. It's not about completely changing what you want to do. After all, you're the boss, you're the one with the experience and all the years of working there, but it's just making sure that the workplace isn't getting too stale. And I think that, the 9 to 5 is quite retro. It was literally around the time of the Industrial Revolution. It was because of electricity and the water supply and the daylight hours and the fact that you couldn't get in touch with your colleagues if you weren't there at 9 till 5. So I think, flexibility is a huge need and desire for millennials. They just want to be slightly more flexible because they're on their phone all the time.
I don't think that we suffer from the same insecurity that you guys suffer from. I mean, I think you're a very anxious person.
Yeah, no, I think our age group, our generation as a whole, anxiety is on the rise.
So what do you do when you feel anxious about something? How do you cope with it?
I guess I make sure that I'm looking after myself in lots of ways. So learning how to switch off, because I think the nature of my career, but also kind of having lots of different jobs and maybe freelancing or having a side hustle, having lots of different things that you do, life and work really merge. And I think that's something that's maybe on the rise.
If I ask that to a Generation X person, I know exactly what they'd say.
They'd say clubbing and
they'd
going
say
out
open
and
a bottle
doing drugs.
of wine.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that is something that we know how to do that you guys don't know how to do. We know how to let go and experience joy. And joy is a really important part of life. And it doesn't have to be out clubbing and getting off your head, but it's the sort of metaphorical version of putting your hands in the air on the dance floor. It's finding that simple moment in, I don't know, it might be a view on the top of a mountain, or it might be finishing a run, or, you know, it might be at the bottom of a bottle of wine with a girlfriend telling lots of, you know, kind of crazy stories.